Hello and welcome to the Gluten-Free Guru. My name is Tanya and today we are going to be making chicken tenders. If you're like me and you like to have an easy lunch prepared for the weekends, this is a great go-to meal. You can make them in bulk and freeze them in little Ziploc baggies, or you can just make them for a quick dinner. They're pretty simple. So first what you're going to want to need is 1.5 pounds of chicken breast or more if you want to make them in bulk. You will need cornstarch, breadcrumbs, milk, garlic powder, salt and pepper to taste, celery salt, cayenne pepper, ground paprika, ground mustard, and an egg. So you can either cut the chicken into strips or nuggets or however you want to make them. I'm going to do strips like the traditional chicken tenders. Okay. Next, you're going to want to have 3 bowls ready. One will be with the cornstarch and seasoning, the next will be with the egg and milk, and the third will be with the breadcrumbs. Right, this doesn't have to be exact, but I think I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of cornstarch to cover that chicken. Add a bit of pepper. Half a teaspoon of garlic powder, half a teaspoon of celery salt, half a teaspoon of ground paprika, 1/4 teaspoon of ground mustard, and then cayenne pepper to taste, however spicy you like it. And because we added celery salt, which has salt in it, I'm only going to add a little bit of extra salt. Whisk it until combined. Next, break your egg into your second bowl. Add a bit of milk, about a tablespoon or more. If you need extra and you find one egg isn't enough for all the chicken you made, you can always stretch it out with some extra milk as well. Finally, in your last bowl, you're going to add breadcrumbs. Make sure they're gluten-free, obviously. We don't like to eat the ends of our bread loaves, so we take the 2 ends and leave them out to dry and then smash them a couple days later to make homemade breadcrumbs. That's an easy way to do it. If not, you can always purchase gluten-free breadcrumbs from Walmart, Schnucks, Kroger, wherever. So before you get ready to dip your chicken into all the bowls, get a pan ready and line it with parchment paper. Alternatively, you can fry them in a pan or even deep fry them, but a healthier alternative is to bake them. First, chicken in the cornstarch. Shake off any excess. Then in the egg. Get all sides. And finally in the breadcrumbs. You will go through a lot of breadcrumbs with this recipe, so just be prepared to add more to the bowl. And onto your parchment paper. While you're doing this, it's a good time to preheat your oven to 400 degrees, so that way they're ready to just pop in when you're done. Okay, so once your oven has reached 400, we'll be spraying it with, we have Pam, but any kind of spray vegetable oil, or if you wanted to like gently drizzle it on, will work. You just want a little bit, so that way it helps get the breadcrumbs brown. Then once one side is sprayed, flip them over, spray the other side. Okay, so we're gonna put them in for 8 minutes on one side, then flip them and do them for another 8 minutes. They might need a little bit longer depending on the size that you cut them in the beginning. And the best way to tell is if you just take one of the largest ones, once it's done cooking, cut it in half. If it's nice and juicy but not pink, it's perfect. After 8 minutes, give them another flip. Okay, and then put them in for another 8 minutes. So now that they've been in for about 16 minutes, I'm going to take one of the fatter ones, cut it in half, and see if it needs some more time. They look done to me. If you've been gluten intolerant for a while, I'm sure you've tried a bunch of different chicken tender brands that are frozen. I haven't found a very good one yet. Either the texture's off for the chicken itself, or the breading on the outside is just very bland. So making your own is a very good way to go, especially since there's a lot of gluten-free sauces out there, including some Buffalo Wild Wings brands, such as our favorite jam and jalapeno, and obviously ketchup. So let's dig in. Very juicy and very good. But a healthier alternative.